Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
I haven't said this in a while, at least 2 weeks. So for those of you who forgot while I was gone, I'm Rev Ann Rea, and I am deliciously, phenomenally, exquisitely blessed to call this my spiritual family and to be the spiritual guidepost for that family. So today we have had the wonderful opportunity to have our pre-service meditation, which for those of you who don't open your newsletter or read it or look at your program, it happens every Sunday at 9:30. And today we were taking a walk through the Aspens, and it was yummy. And so you missed a yumminess. And as Deborah made an exquisite point of saying, my theme for the month is Heaven's Right Here. And I would like to say that that is original to me, but that is actually, and I'm not even positive it's original to Ernest Holmes, but that's the first place I heard it or read it. And heaven is right here. And so is hell.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have to wait to go there. We don't have to wait to go either place. They're both right here. And they are of our own creation. Isn't that a strange idea?
That's one word for it.
But the thing is that heaven and hell are both ideas. They're a label that a human being made up for a condition or a series of conditions that are either lovely or not so lovely. So who is the judge of those conditions? We are. I see someone going like this. They're not pointing at me. We're the judge of the conditions. We're the ones who perceive whether something is heavenly or hellish. But heaven and hell are not my topic today. Well, not exactly. My topic today is excuses. And there is a tie-in because we can make excuses for anything.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what you just heard me say was, we, meaning you and I, can make excuses for anything. What's the common denominator?
You.
No. Yes, of course.
I?
It's us. The common denominator is each of us. And for some of us, somewhere along the line, excuses became a pattern. 'Cause because it was a way of explaining why we weren't doing something or why we had done something.
Mm-hmm.
And my question is, how is that serving us to still be doing that now? Many of the clients who have worked with me at one time or another have heard me say to them, why do you feel you have to explain yourself to me? Why do you feel you have to explain a choice you made to me? Because that is trying, at least in my imagination, that's trying to excuse it. That's giving me, in your mind, hopefully, you're the one who's hoping, that's giving me a good reason to excuse the choice that was made. But I'm not the one who has to excuse the choice. You do. What? What do you mean I do? I'm here talking to you because you're going to help me feel better about a choice I made. Well, maybe not. What I can do is I can help you have a broader perspective about a choice you made. And then you get to choose whether that choice is worth lingering over, that choice is worth looking for forgiveness from everybody you know for, no, the second for wasn't necessary. But you understand what I'm saying. Because when we have not been able to forgive ourselves, we're not able to let go of a choice that we made. No, okay. Commercial interruption. It's always a choice we made.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a choice somebody else made. The choices that somebody else made are their problem. If we're having a problem with a choice that somebody else made, that doesn't make the choice our problem. That makes what we're hanging on to our problem. Let me say that again. If we're hanging on with any kind of energy about a choice that someone else made, that somehow impacted us or impacted the world, doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. That doesn't make the choice that was made our problem. It makes what we're hanging on to our problem. Because we're the ones who have stuff about it.
Mm-hmm.
Whether that stuff is anger or unforgiveness or obsession, whatever it is, that part is our problem.
Mm-hmm.
Not the choice itself. But you know, they did this to me. And, or this, they chose this thing and it happened to me. Okay. But your reaction And we're talking about reaction here. We're not talking about response. Because response involves a moment's pause and thought. We're talking about reaction. We're talking about, but, they did this to me, or they didn't do this to me, or they didn't do this for me, or they didn't, whoever they are, their stuff is their stuff. Our stuff is the energy we hold about it. And what that does, you may find this interesting, what that does is it attaches us to our imagined thing, because however long ago that thing happened, I guarantee you it wasn't yesterday. Well, maybe it was yesterday. It could have been yesterday, but it was probably a lot of yesterdays ago, and we're still hanging on to it, and we're still ticked off about it, or we're still feeling hurt about it, or we're still holding them, we think, responsible. Meanwhile, what are they doing? Do we even know?
No.
Are they even here? So what are we doing? What are we doing? We're holding on to whatever this thing is that we are remembering from a very different place than where we were at the time that the thing happened, in most cases. And we think that we're punishing somebody, and if we let go of it, they'll get away with it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I want to tell you, they've left the building. And it isn't that they got away with anything, because we forget in these moments that we are so absolutely certain that we have to hang on because we have to hold them accountable. We forget that the law holds them accountable. And I'm not talking about human law. I'm talking about universal law. The law of cause and effect affects everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody. No matter who, no matter what their status is, no matter how long ago or how recently it happened. And our biggest discomfort is that we don't get to see them punished. We don't get to see them suffer in a way that satisfies us so that we can say, aha! Aha! Finally, I can be at peace. Our peace is our job. Nobody can give it to us, and no one can take it away. We have to give it away. We have to hand it over and say, I'm going to be mad at you for this, or them for this, and here's my peace. But that comes with me being mad. Oh, that's a good idea. I'll just hand over my peace of mind. I don't think that's what we mean. And getting back to excuses, wherever it is in our life that we started making them, or apologies. For apologies, often someone will say, I'm sorry. They'll start, Deborah, by saying, I'm sorry. And then they follow with whatever it is that they said after that. But their first words are, I'm sorry. I don't need you to be sorry. I don't need you to be sorry. I want to know what's going to happen next. I want to know what's going to happen next time that's different. I don't need you to be sorry. You know, I think I've said before, bless their hearts, I love them dearly. But my grandchildren grew up with, I'm sorry becoming their first words. Well, forget the I'm part. It was just sorry. Sorry, Bubs. That's what they call me. Sorry, Bubs. Sorry, Bubs. Sorry, Bubs. For what? For what? That doesn't carry with it any awareness of how a different choice might have made the sorry flying out of our mouths first thing unnecessary. Did you get caught in traffic? Okay. So, because living in LA, was I constantly apologizing for getting caught in traffic? Well, I was until I figured out that in order to not get caught in traffic, it meant I had to leave earlier. And sometimes in LA, no matter how early you leave, you're still going to get caught in traffic. But it was an important awakening for me that instead of squeezing so many things into too small a space, I could leave more space for departure and arrival, because having enough space for departure and arrival is really good for me. And now I need to leave lots of space. Actually, early. Wonderful thing. It's a wonderful thing, and it's so much more relaxing. But I had to move to Santa Fe to figure it out. Excuses, excuses, excuses. Erase, erase, erase. Who do you really think you're making the excuse to or for? And what is your expectation in using an excuse? The expectation is that the other person is going to say, oh, that's okay. If this is someone that you're meeting for the very first time, then I can understand why you wouldn't necessarily know which way they were going to go with that. But if this is someone that you know, why in the world do you need to excuse yourself to them? Why do you need to begin any conversation with an apology? What we're really doing when we're saying that and when we're doing that is we are diminishing who we are. Because we're saying, we're in here agreeing, or at least considering, that we are reflections and revelations of life itself. And then we start with an excuse. Now, how much sense does that make? If if we I wish I could say this word without having to try it twice. Anthropomorphized spirit. Can you imagine it beginning any conversation with an apology or an excuse?
No.
I'm sorry.
No.
So then what business do we have doing that? We're saying we're less. We're different. We're separated. We are not less. We are not different. And we are not separated. We are one with, in, for, as the one. And that may be a lot to take in. Do it anyway. Do it anyway. Try it. You could come to like it. It makes a difference in how we hold ourselves in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Now, am I saying that we can never make a choice or a decision that we don't genuinely need to apologize for? No, I am not saying that. We are human beings and we screw up. No matter how aware we are of all that we are. We have lapses. We have moments where we don't remember who we are. Or we don't remember that the someone that we're dealing with or talking to or driving next to or whatever the case may be is also that. Because suddenly they acted irresponsibly. And it inconvenienced us, or it irritated us, or whatever the case may be. So what? We can apologize. But the important thing about an apology, tell me what's going to happen next time. Tell me that you recognize what it is that you're apologizing for and how it will be different. I say it all the time, we are here right now for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
A very important reason. We are here uniquely as us to serve a very significant purpose. And our very significant purpose, because then people are asking me, well, what's my purpose? Easy. I'll tell y'all. All y'all. Our purpose is being here and living our best life.
Mm-hmm. Amen.
Including reaching out to others with loving kindness, with genuine loving kindness, free of expectation. Uh-oh. Free of expectation. Wowie zowie. How do I do that? How do I not have expectations of somebody else? Well, you can have expectations of somebody else as long as you negotiate it. What? As long as you have a conversation not exchanging emails or texts. I know the people I'm speaking to right now, not necessarily those online, but the people I'm speaking to right now, that's not an issue. Where texting is the first go-to of communication. Well, texting is great for what warrants being instantaneous response or an instantaneous like or a thank you, but not for anything of any depth with any emotional content. And the same is true with email. Technology does not serve that purpose.
Mm-hmm.
We have to at least be able to hear each other's voices, which is why we have phones. Oh, actually, you dial, and then you call. Because otherwise, what are we leaving all this room for?
Misinterpretation.
Bingo. Misinterpretation. And then we get mad. Because that isn't what we meant. Well, how would they know? How would they know? They're just a person like us. With whatever's going on in their day, like whatever's going on in our day. And we make up stuff all the time about ourselves and everybody else. And you know what? I'll bet they do the same thing. Expectations are fine if they're negotiated. Eyeball to eyeball. Or at least voice to voice. Negotiated and agreed upon. I expect that I'll be on time. And I expect that you'll be on time for wherever it is we're meeting. Okay, I can do that. That's or that time is actually, as I think about it, that time is actually a squeeze for me. Could we make it a half hour later? Sure. Done. So this week, you have homework. As much as I dislike the word diet, it's actually one of my least favorites. We're all going on an excuse and apology diet.
Great idea.
And if you can squeeze it in, if going on an excuse and apology diet is no problem, then throw in expectations. We'll be talking more about this later.